you know. So let's move on to Ben Jacobs and his reporting around Bradley Barcola. And it kind of mirrors exactly what we've been saying to you guys. He said, as mentioned previously again, that Liverpool still feel in control of the situation and are intentionally playing a bit of a waiting game for Bradley Barcola. They are in regular contact with PSG. The 170 million euro price tag is not one that Liverpool are willing to pay, according to Ben Jacobs, and rightly so. And he goes on to say that he's got 2 years left on his PSG deal. Liverpool want him. They don't like to keep players that are running down their contracts and don't want to be there. And of course, they're also bringing in other players. So I do think our patience is going to be rewarded on this one, ladies and gentlemen, and that Barcola will become a Liverpool player sooner rather than later. Don't have a figure for you at this point. I don't know the exact details of it, but every single person that we've spoken to, including a new journalist today, feels like the only outcome here is Barcola joining Liverpool. So, before we move on to the Curtis Jones stuff, which is a bit more concrete, let's move on now to a post that we seen earlier on from Transfer News Live that caught our attention. And this is the clubs that have made the most money from player sales since 2020. Number 10 on the list, Paris Saint-Germain, who've got just over £500 million from player sales of 522 million. Number 9, Brighton, 606 million, which goes to show what a well-run club they are. Then comes Manchester City, who've made 623 million. Wolves, 624 million. Stade Rennes, who have 625 million. Aston Villa, just under 650 million. Atalanta, 655. RB Leipzig, an incredible 706 million pound. Benfica, who always seem to be near the top of these lists, 757 million. But top of the pile, Chelsea, who have gone over £1 billion in player sales since 2020. Now, they've also bought quite a bit, but just a little bit of insight there for you. So, Opta Jove put out a really good stat that gives us lots of promise and hope as Liverpool fans. They say that since Ronald Araujo's La Liga debut in 2019, the two defenders with the lowest dribble pass average per 90 minutes in Europe's Big Five leagues are Ronald Araujo, 14 times in 143 appearances with an average of 0.13 per game, and our captain, Virgil van Dijk, 34 times in 212 games with an average of 0.16 per game. So as you can see, we should be in good hands, all going well for the season ahead. So Arne Slot was linked once upon a time with the Dutch national team job, but that has actually been closed off because tonight Fabrizio Romano broke the news to say, breaking, Xavi Hernandez has agreed to become the new Dutch national team head coach. Done deal. Agreement signed today for the former Barcelona head coach, and that has been confirmed as well by the Dutch National FA. So best of luck to him in that role, and of course it will impact some of the Liverpool players. I'm thinking Ryan Gravenberch, obviously I'm thinking Virgil van Dijk, Cody Gakpo, so let's wait and see what happens there. Now, big news around Curtis Jones is that we believe he is closing in on a Liverpool exit. We told you guys yesterday that his representatives were down in London, but we also have since found out that Curtis Jones was also in London. If you're in our WhatsApp group, you will have seen a photograph that we posted in there showing Curtis Jones at the Underground yesterday. So if you haven't signed up to it, that is as good a reason as any, and you will see a link to that in the description of this video. We hope you can join us there. But Ben Jacobs reporting tonight said Inter are now prepared to pay over 35 million euro to sign Curtis Jones, and it does seem as if we are closing in on a Curtis Jones exit. Now, what we don't know yet is what Liverpool plan to do when they sell Curtis Jones, or if they sell Curtis Jones. Will they give Trainee only the minutes? That is probable, but they could also look to go into the market. And as we mentioned at the very start of the video, we're unsure exactly what the state of play is with Alexis McAllister, but my reporting all the way throughout last season was that Liverpool are going to make a decision definitively one way or the other this summer. Now, if he is to be moved on, of course there's going to have to be a buying club, and a buying club not only that meet Liverpool's valuation, but that also tempts the player. And that's where I kind of come a bit unstuck with Galatasaray. It's not really a step forward in Alexis McAllister's career to go to Galatasaray, with all due respect, but the likes of a move over to one of the Madrid clubs perhaps, if that comes around, then maybe Liverpool do have a decision to make. So as of now, we're far more confident in the Curtis Jones side of this, but it's definitely worth keeping your eyes on the McAllister situation. Journalists that we've been speaking to don't have anything concrete on it, but they do think their gut feeling suggests there could be a sale on the cards there. Other than that, we also got somebody to say to us today that Liverpool are certainly interested in Ibrahim Mbaye. Now, I don't want to go as far as to say it's going to be a double deal with PSG, but I definitely can't rule it out either. I do feel a little bit more confident around our interest in Mbaye, but this person was off the record, so I don't want to come to you with information that is speaking out of turn. So keep your eye on that one. Others will have more up-to-date information on Liverpool's interest in Ibrahim Mbaye, but Bradley Barcola, as we've mentioned numerous times, that one is going to happen. Liverpool aren't going to walk away. Ben Jacobs saying as much earlier on as well. This is just all part of the dance, and Liverpool are wanting the best deal possible for the club, which I understand, but I also understand that for us fans, it's a little bit frustrating as we sit around waiting to see the clubs get these deals over the line. Now, what we don't know as of yet, of course, is around the central defensive midfield position. We know that there's been a bid rejected for Crystal Palace from Lamine Camara of Monaco, but we don't know if Liverpool are going to try and jump in there, or are we going to go for Wharton? Now, my instinct is to say that Wharton is the sensible play here for Liverpool.
Josh Kushner, the venture capitalist who was at the centre of FIFA's proposed new commercial structure, is close to completing a takeover of the Los Angeles Lakers. Kushner and the former Disney chief executive Bob Iger are set to buy the NBA franchise from the Chelsea co-owner Mark Walter in a £9 billion deal, Sky Sports News understands. And that would make the Lakers the most expensive sports team in the world. Walter only bought the Lakers last year for £7.4 billion, but he's now expected to see a big return on his investment. In a statement to Sky Sports News, Kushner and Iger have said, as lifelong NBA fans, we are deeply honoured for the opportunity to become stewards of the LA Lakers, one of the most iconic sports franchises in the world. We have immense respect for the leadership and vision of Jerry and Jeannie Buss. Our long-term commitment is to build on that foundation, compete at the highest level, and serve this extraordinary team, its fans, and the city of Los Angeles. So, the LA Lakers on the verge of becoming the most expensive sports team in the world, and Josh Kushner is close to completing a takeover of the team.
There's movement out of Anfield tonight that's worth your full attention. Curtis Jones has been a fringe conversation all summer, but sources close to the negotiations now describe the Inter Milan interest as having shifted from exploratory to advanced. That's a meaningful jump. Two people briefed on the discussions tell us personal terms are close to being finalized. We're talking about a 5-year framework, with performance-related clauses tied to appearances rather than goals, which is typical for a midfielder of his profile. What's changed in the last 72 hours isn't the player's willingness, that's been there for weeks, it's the club-to-club dialogue. Liverpool's valuation, initially pitched north of $30 million, has reportedly softened slightly given the player's contract situation and his own quiet push to explore first-team football elsewhere. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, nothing is signed, nothing is medical stage. But the direction of travel here is unmistakable, and it's why we're treating this as a story to watch hour by hour rather than day by day. Let's break down why Inter specifically. Simone Inzaghi's system relies on midfield runners who can operate in half spaces and transition quickly, exactly the profile Jones offers when deployed centrally rather than out wide, which has often been his role under Klopp's successors at Liverpool. Inter's recruitment team have reportedly tracked him since a Champions League fixture 2 seasons ago, and that interest never fully cooled. Financially, this is where it gets interesting. Inter aren't known for smashing transfer records, their model leans on structured payments, add-ons, and sell-on clauses. Multiple reports suggest the current shape of the offer includes a fixed fee in the low to mid-20s, with the remainder built into add-ons tied to European qualification and squad status minutes. Liverpool's hierarchy, for their part, have not blocked talks. That's telling in itself. A club unwilling to sell simply ends the conversation early, and this one hasn't ended. Okay guys, let's go deeper on this one, because I have more from my sources. Jones to Inter, this is not just speculation anymore, this is concrete. Talks between the two clubs have progressed significantly in the last few days, and I'm told there is genuine confidence on the Inter side that this can be completed before the window shuts. Personal terms, already discussed directly, agreement in principle on salary structure. The player side is fully on board. Jones has communicated to people around him that he sees this as the right step for his career trajectory. What's left is the final structure of the fee between the clubs. Liverpool want guarantees, Inter want flexibility. This is completely normal in negotiations like this, nothing here is a red flag, it's just the final layer of business. My understanding, as of right now, no here we go yet. But we are getting closer, and I would not be surprised to see documents exchanged within the coming days if both sides keep this pace. Bomba potential, absolutely, watch this one. Now, connected story, and this is important. If Jones departs, Liverpool's midfield planning shifts immediately, and multiple sources tell me that Maka's name has come up internally as a candidate to fill the gap in rotation. This isn't confirmed as a straight replacement signing, I want to be clear about that, but it's being discussed as part of a broader squad reshaping conversation happening behind the scenes at Liverpool right now. Scouting staff have already compiled reports. The recommendation, from what I'm told, is positive: technical profile, composure under pressure, and importantly, homegrown status, which matters for squad list flexibility under current regulations. Nothing here is close to advanced stage. But structurally, this is exactly how these dominoes tend to fall. One departure creates room, and internal targets move up the list quickly once that happens. From the Italian side, the tone around this deal is notably calm and confident. Outlets in Milan have described Inter's interest as being driven less by immediate necessity and more by long-term squad planning, sporting director-level thinking rather than a panic signing to fill a hole. That framing matters, because it suggests the club is negotiating from a position of patience, not urgency. There's also a financial fair play dimension worth noting. Inter's recruitment approach this window has been unusually disciplined, prioritizing players who can be integrated without disrupting wage structure. Jones fits that model, a player entering his mid-20s, proven at a top-level club, available potentially below inflated market rates given his squad role uncertainty at Liverpool. Milan-based reporting also suggests Inter's coaching staff were consulted directly before formal contact was made with Liverpool, a detail that, if accurate, indicates this isn't a scouting department initiative but a tactically driven request from within the dressing room hierarchy itself. So where does this leave us? Two separate but connected storylines. A Jones exit that appears to be gathering real momentum, and a domestic replacement conversation at Liverpool that's still in its early planning stages but already has a name attached to it. Neither is finished business, but both are moving in a direction worth tracking closely over the coming week. We'll have updates the moment there's confirmation on either front. For now, this remains one of the more credible midfield stories developing across Europe. Stay locked in. This one's not done yet.